12 burritos for just $5. These are bean and cheese burritos, homemade, much like the bean crispy tacos that I made, and it's all within a budget of $5. Let's go. First, we're making homemade tortillas. I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to add a half teaspoon of salt, and I consider water, salt, pepper, pantry staples, so I didn't factor that in. Now I'm going to start with about a half cup of hot water. You want to start small with the water and work it in. I'm using a wooden spoon first, now with my hands. And if you need a little extra water, add a spoon at a time. Once it comes together like this, I'm going to start kneading, and you're going to have to knead really well for this. And once it springs back slightly, you're almost there. After kneading, I'm going to divide the dough into 12 dough balls. And before you divide it, be sure you added enough water to keep it soft and pliable even after it rests. So here's something I also like to do, and that is take the dough ball, kind of mash it, and add more water and work it into each dough ball. This will ensure that as it rests, it doesn't dry out. And there's another step I like to use to maintain the moisture in the dough as it rests. So just kind of use that. That's water on the exterior, and then place it into the bowl. And I also like to sprinkle a little bit of water just on top. And now I'm going to take paper towels or kitchen towels and dampen them with some water, and then add that on top. I like to let the dough balls rest for minimum 15 minutes, longer if you've got time. Okay, so for the beans, I have leftover beans that I thawed from the freezer. Now, to keep this in the $5 budget, what you'll want to do is boil your own beans. This bag of beans, easily $1. If you like pinto beans, obviously buy pinto beans, but just 1 pound of beans for $1. Boil it in water, add salt, and you've got cooked beans that are within the $5 budget. And like I said, I'm cooking as if I only have $5, so that means for the beans, I am going to mash them, but I'm not even going to add cooking oil because remember, we didn't buy cooking oil. So once you boil your beans, you'll want at least, I'd say about 2 cups of beans with liquid. Honestly, this is leftover mix of pinto and red beans that I had in the freezer. And I'm just going to let this simmer, and let them simmer. Once they get sort of softened a bit more, you can just mash them, and that's what I'm going to use for the beans. Okay, so these have been resting for well over 20 minutes. And you see how they have softened. They're soft and pliable, and this is just flour, salt, and water. My grandmother called these tortillas de agua, which is basically when we didn't have baking powder or lard to put in the tortilla dough, so it would just be water and flour and a little bit of salt if you have it. So these are soft and pliable. I'm going to start rolling these out and cooking them. A little bit of flour. So a great indication that your dough has rested long enough is if you go to press it or roll it out and it doesn't shrink back. If it's tough and it shrinks back as you roll it out, that means your dough needs to rest longer, and it may need water, extra water in the dough to make sure that it rests, it doesn't dry out, and it's soft and pliable. Okay, so I put damp paper towels, and I have all the tortillas that I rolled out. They're resting on the side of the bowl with a damp cloth. Remember, there is no fat in this dough. There's no oil, no lard, no butter, so they will dry out as they set. So you want to make sure you keep a damp cloth. Here I have some kitchen paper towels over the dough as it rests. I'm going to let it rest once again for another like 15 minutes. Okay, these are simmering, so now I'm going to start mashing them. And then if they seem a little runny, that's fine. I'm going to let them just gently simmer until they thicken. For the cheese, I have 8 ounces of shredded mozzarella because I had it. But from the grocery store, you can get 8 ounces of pre-shredded cheese if that's the cheapest option to keep you in that $5 budget. Okay, let me show you. Instead of using my basket that I typically store the tortillas after they're cooked, You want to make sure you lock in as much moisture with this particular recipe for tortillas. So I put parchment paper, aluminum foil, then a towel. Okay, let's cook the first one. And remember, these are kind of tender, thin. The dough is very moist. You got to be very careful. So this is my preheated griddle. I'm going to throw that on. Hopefully it's hot enough. And then you just cook it on both sides, the same way I always show you all. Check the description for more info on my other flour tortilla videos. So here's what I like to do. Take a little bit of water. Because you got to keep it tender and it needs more water. So one more time. I like to flip these a couple times, maybe 3 to 4 times, and then they're done because they're really thin. But like I said, keep that dough moist. This is why my abuela called them tortillas de agua. You're constantly using water to make sure they stay soft. Cover it up, and you want to repeat the process for the rest of them. Okay, so here I have my beans. They've thickened, they're mashed and seasoned to taste. I suggest you do the same. I have my cheese, my very simple budget-friendly flour tortillas. Just literally 3 ingredients: flour, salt, and water. Soft, pliable, and all within the $5 budget. Let's put it together. Okay, here we go. Just add a smear or a scoop of your beans, cheese, bean and cheese burrito. Let's keep going. Okay, so 12 burritos for $5. And if you want to help the community or give ideas, I might showcase it. Comment down below what your favorite $5 dinner or meal idea is, and I may showcase it in one of my next videos. But here we are. Dinner is served. This is 12 bean and cheese burritos for $5. Simple, homemade, fresh, and delicious. I hope wherever you are in the world, you are doing well, and I will see you in the next one.